Hello, everyone. How are you all? After a long time, I am bringing you a long video. And trust me, if you watch this till the end, your legs will shiver. This story is filled with horror, so I challenge you to watch it at night for the ultimate experience. This incident dates back to the early 1990s. At that time, I was working as an officer at a prestigious R&D center located in Madras, now Chennai. The campus had a newly constructed building called the hostel, which was part of the official quarters for officers. The building had 3 floors, each with 8 apartments, 4 on the left and 4 on the right, with a staircase in the center leading up to the 2nd and 3rd floors. For bachelors, these apartments were no less than heaven as they came fully furnished. I was allotted the last apartment on the 3rd floor, and my first year there was smooth. However, summers were challenging as the wooden furniture and bed absorbed heat, making them uncomfortably warm. Let me describe the apartment layout. As soon as you entered, there was a spacious living room to the right with a balcony door at its end. On the left, there was a kitchen, followed by a bathroom, and finally, a single bedroom. The bedroom had a large wooden cupboard covering 3/4 of the front wall. This layout was identical for every apartment in the building. I stayed there for almost 2 years as a bachelor, and even after marriage, my wife and I continued living there due to the convenience of the furnished space. My wife loved the apartment and believed it was ideal for a small family. A few months after our wedding, my mother-in-law came to stay with us for a few days. It was summer, and power outages were frequent. Whenever the electricity went out, we would either sit in the back balcony or in the corridor outside the front door. It's important to note that the apartment had only one entrance, the front door. If the balcony door was shut, there was no other way out. Now, let's talk about what happened that night. The ground floor apartment below ours was occupied by an army officer, his wife, and their young daughter. At that time, his wife's relatives from North India were also staying over. It was a close-knit community where bachelors and married couples lived in harmony, often hosting friendly gatherings at each other's homes. One particular evening, around 9 p.m., there was a power outage. My wife, my mother-in-law, and I were sitting outside our front door, enjoying the cool air, with the balcony door open for ventilation. Just then, a blood-curdling scream echoed from the ground floor. Startled, I rushed to the balcony and peered down. The army officer's wife was screaming hysterically, calling for help. She was shouting that there was a thief in their house. Without wasting a second, I ran down the stairs, calling some of my bachelor friends for backup. What happened next was beyond belief. When we reached her apartment, she was trembling with fear, sweat dripping from her forehead. Gasping for breath, she recounted the horrifying event. Due to the power outage, the entire family had been sitting outside since evening. She had gone inside to fetch some water when she saw a man in a white shirt and trousers standing near the bedroom door. His face was filled with hatred, and his eyes burned with anger. Before she could react, he muttered something incomprehensible, and then walked straight into the bedroom. The most chilling part? He vanished inside the cupboard. The front door had been locked from the outside, and the balcony door was also secured. There was no way anyone could have entered or exited the apartment. Determined to solve the mystery, we took action. We grabbed sticks and a flashlight and cautiously entered the apartment. We searched every corner, the living room, the kitchen, and the bathroom. Nothing. Only the bedroom remained. With bated breath, we opened the cupboard doors one by one, expecting to confront an intruder. But there was no one there. The army officer's wife refused to believe it. She insisted we check again, but the reality was undeniable. There was no thief. Was it her imagination? Or something far more sinister? But the horror didn't end there. Months later, another terrifying incident shook us. On the diagonal opposite of that apartment, on the third floor, lived my friend Rohan, a bodybuilder and a fearless man. Rohan took pride in his strength and often dismissed paranormal talk as mere superstition. He had lived there for 2 years without experiencing anything unusual. That changed one fateful night. At around 2 a.m., Rohan suddenly bolted out of his apartment, banging frantically on his friend Balu's door. Balu, startled from his sleep, opened the door to find Rohan drenched in sweat, shaking uncontrollably. He couldn't utter a word. Balu took him inside, gave him water, and let him rest. The next morning, Rohan revealed the horrifying truth. He had been fast asleep when he heard a whisper calling his name. Assuming it was a dream, he ignored it. But when he opened his eyes, he saw a dark figure looming over him. Before he could react, it climbed onto his chest and began strangling him. He struggled, but its grip was inhumanly strong. His vision blurred, his breath shortened, and he genuinely thought he was going to die. And then, suddenly, it let go. Gasping for air, Rohan bolted out of his room and ran straight to Balu's apartment. The aftermath, that encounter broke Rohan. He was so shaken that he requested an immediate transfer and moved to an R&D center in Kerala. After he left, nothing similar ever happened again, though whispers of the entity lingered for years. So, was it really a thief that the army officer's wife saw? Or was it the same dark entity that attacked Rohan? No one knows for sure. But one thing is certain. The horror of that apartment remains etched in our memories forever. If you have a real horror story, share it with me. I found this story so intriguing that I had to cover it. If you have your own real-life horror experiences, and I'll try my best to feature them in upcoming videos. Until then, stay safe and keep the lights on. See you in the next video.